Today on ASM News,
Calvinism, the Protestant and Catholic Reformations.
The scandalous events of Jean Calvin, Martin Luther, and Henry VIII. Now to Charles in Geneva to discuss Calvinism.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I am here in Geneva, Switzerland, at the execution site of Jean Calvin, the face of Calvinism. Calvinism is a major branch of Protestantism, which stressed God's power and humanity's predestined fate. A Calvinist believes in the importance of only 5 main components to religious life: faith, scripture, Christ, grace, and the glory of God. Calvinism appealed to those who were exiled from other branches of Protestantism. Even after the death of Jean Calvin, Calvinism became a religious and economic force for the next 400 years. Back to you, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Charles. After the break comes an interview with Catherine von Born.
Do you love your family? Do you want them to live an enriched life? Do you want them to go to heaven?
For the low price of only $20, you can ensure your child's glorious future.
Call 1-800-GO-JESUS. Welcome back to ASM News.
Coming up, the Catholic and Protestant Reformations.
Now, for Elizabeth's interview with Catherine von Bora about the Protestant Reformation.
Today, I'm here with Catherine von Bora, the former wife of Martin Luther. First, I would like to ask you a lifelong question of mine. How are you a married nun with 6 children? Isn't that kind of contradictory?
Well, at the age of 9, my father forced me into a nunnery. When I was 14, I escaped to Wittenberg. This is where I met Martin, so therefore I was never truly a married nun.
Okay, that clarifies a lot. Could you tell us a little more about your husband, Martin Luther?
Well, Martin was a Calvinist monk before he was exiled for his contradictory beliefs. After leaving the monastery, he wrote 95 Theses. After his publication, Martin became a key figure in the Protestant Reformation.
And how did that Reformation change to that time period?
Reformers such as Martin, Jean Calvin, and Henry VIII challenged papal authority and questioned the Church's ability to define Christian practice. They argued for religious and political redistribution of power into the hands of the Bible. They led pastors to spreading the word of the Lord instead of kings.
So, can you tell me a little more about how the Catholic Church responded to this?
Well, to say that the Catholic Church was displeased would be an understatement. They triggered wars, persecutions, and the Catholic Church's Reformation.
Could you tell me a little more about the beginning of the Protestant Reformation?
Actually, Martin's publication of 95 Theses was the start of this Reformation.
How did Martin's book spread so far, so fast?
The printing press was invented just prior to his publication, which gave Martin's book the ability to spread throughout Europe.
Then what were the main ideas of the Protestant Reformation?
Well, some of the key ideas were to purify the Church and to make the Bible the sole source of spiritual authority.
My last question for you is, how did the Reformation end?
The ending can be placed between 1555 at the Peace of Augsburg, which allowed coexistence of Catholicism and Lutheranism in Germany, to the Treaty of Westphalia, which ended the 30 Years' War.
Thank you for your time.
It was my pleasure.
After the break, the Catholic Reformation.
Laura's got what I need today. Everything I need for my browning point.
Everything I need to get wed. Laura's got it all, I'm always impressed.
Being a good guy can be so stressful, but with your selection I'm always successful.
Laura's got what I need today. Everything I need for my brownie points. From cameos to pearls, get everything you need at laurasjewelry.com.
Welcome back to ASM News.
Now for Alyssa's interview with Melissa Meza, a high school advanced placement world history teacher, about the Catholic Reformation.
I'm here with Melissa Meza, my world history teacher. Hi, Miss Meza. How are you doing today?
It's been good, but my kicks today, they were like weird.
I remember those days. Now on to the Catholic Reformation. What's your opinion on this Reformation?
It sucked. People died for like no good reason, like death everywhere.
I completely agree. So I understand that there was a Protestant Reformation. But why was there a Catholic one? Did they really change?
Well, the Catholic Reformation was a counterforce to the Protestants. Educated Catholics wanted change, and the Catholic Church was like, no, like something's got to change.
How did this Reformation start, and who were the major people in it?
It began with the Council of Trent, which is a commission of cardinals tasked with the institutional reform that upheld the basic structure of the medieval church. The important people were Pope Leo X and Pope Paul III, who led the reforms.
What major elements composed these reforms?
Well, structural reconfiguration and like religious order, spiritual movements, and like political dimensions.
How did this Reformation focus on key ideas?
They focused on devotional life and personal relationships with Christ.
Did this Reformation affect anything other than people's religious beliefs?
Yes, it also affected how the church and the royal family were. They were no longer solely based on the king, but the people. And that's like cool.
How did this Reformation end?
The Reformation ended with the 30-Year War upon the signing of the Treaty of Westphalia in 1648.
Thank you so much for helping out today. How did you gain such in-depth knowledge over this specific topic?
Well, I love history documentaries. It's a problem. My husband's always like, are you doing your nerdy thing again? And I'm just like, yeah.
Thank you again for your time. I hope to see you soon.
Thank you for having me. Have a good day. Make good choices.
Don't worry, I will, Miss Neza.
That's all for tonight.
See you next time on ASM News.